Hello, my name is Chip Slate, and I'm here to talk about timeshares. Our experience is with Wyndham Vacation Resorts. I must say that not everyone who is a Wyndham owner is as frustrated as we are. Your results may be different. The resorts are very nice, probably the nicest place we have ever stayed. But it comes with the dark side. We have owned at Wyndham for 13 years. We have experienced the lies, misrepresentations, omissions of relevant details, deceitful business practices. Now, why has this gone on for so long for us? Well, we believed the company line when we objected that it was our fault. You know, they tell you, you signed it, you got to live with it. Well, our most recent experience on May 28th of this year inspired us to research the company a little more and the methods used to convince us to buy again or upgrade. We have personal relationships with former Wyndham employees who have shared their knowledge from the other side. Basically, our advice: never accept an invitation to take a weekend getaway or something on them. You will be placed in a high-pressure sales situation and spend most of your Saturday sitting across the table from Wyndham salespeople. That's what hooked us the first time. If you buy once, you will be enticed to attend what they call an owner update at every vacation when you stay with them. This is basically a renamed high-pressure sales presentation to try and get you to upgrade and invest more money into their system. What you need to know is timeshare contracts are for a lifetime and beyond. And who of us believes that we will have the predictability of schedule, the good health, the availability to utilize a high-priced vacation every single year of our lives? Or they can't guarantee you that your chosen destination is going to be available, and you can no longer gift it someone else to give a vacation as a gift. That comes with an additional fee. It didn't always, but it does now. There is no contractual way to end the agreement. There's no escape or termination clause. The distortions used to convince someone to buy are carefully scripted. They're not contained in the contract documents. You'll be asked to sign a variety of waivers, disclaimers, and the like, which strengthens their position, not yours. They smile at you the whole time, knowing that they've got their hooks in you. The benefits associated with the upgrades will be distorted, misrepresented to push your decision to buy into the next level. It happened to us, and after several exchanges of letters and phone calls with Wyndham, they still don't believe it, or at least that's what they say in writing. Calls to owner care are a waste of time. The owner care reps will tell you they cannot forward a phone call, but yet they can send an email on your behalf. Well, I have experienced this, and it leads nowhere. You might get them to give you a name of someone to call back later, but they seldom, if ever, give you a phone number, or an email address. My emails and phone calls were ignored until I exercised the EECD, also known as an executive email carpet bomb, described on a favorite consumer website of mine. I got a phone call the next day. You should also know that the board of Wyndham, or whoever your particular timeshare developer is, can change the program at any time. There's no owner representation other than maybe the homeowners association at your home resort. It's very diluted. Over the years, we've heard several lies. This is quite a list here, but they've all happened to us over the years of our membership. They told us it is real estate, that it will appreciate, that is tax deductible. Well, you may have a deed, but it's not real estate that appreciates in value. Go look on eBay and see what people are trying to sell Wyndham memberships for. They're placed on there for $1 and no bids. They kept us there for 7 hours after telling us it would be a 90-minute presentation. In October of 2006, Mr. Roman Schinken was our salesperson when we bought our second contract, told us that a Waldorf was being built next door to the Bonnet Creek Resort in Florida, which would increase its value. To me, if they're selling an increase in value, that implies that you'll be able to resell it. Well, Wyndham doesn't help you resell, and they don't want any part of buying your timeshare back once you've paid for it. They told us we could rent for a profit. This was at the very first time we bought. Truth is, you can barely cover, or probably can't cover, your maintenance fees by renting. It's a depressed market right now. A good friend of mine rents a 4-bedroom house on the beach for $750 a week. Now, my maintenance fees are way more than that. And if you're a Wyndham owner and you have over 200,000 points probably, your maintenance fees per year are probably way more than that. They told us we could gift vacations for no additional cost. Well, the program changed. This is one of those changes I was telling you about that was made by the board a few years ago, and now it costs you $99 if you make the reservation yourself, or $129 if you do it through the Wyndham vacation representatives. There's no excuse for this. It doesn't cost anybody any more. It's no more keystrokes. They told us we could eliminate maintenance fees by either converting unused points, use of a rewards credit card, and referrals. Well, we don't have any good friends that we would want to refer and subject them to what we have lived through. They told us it was an update. It's actually a sales presentation. They showed us handwritten charts to illustrate the cost benefits of timeshare, low maintenance, and future value, none of which was true. They told us we could refinance our loan at our home bank and get a better rate. Well, that's not true either. Banks typically don't loan on timeshares. The only hope you've got is an unsecured loan, and those interest rates are no better than what you get with the timeshare company. They told us that in order to have reservation power, we needed to be at VIP or VIP Gold. They told us the threshold for Gold was going up soon, so do it now. They told us we were paying too much maintenance, and we were. It was $6.25 per 1,000 points, and needed to purchase elsewhere and upgrade to achieve a lower fee. They create an atmosphere that makes you feel like you can't leave without buying something. And this is status quo. I have a few other graphics here that I'd like to share with you while I've got you on. If you need to get in touch with someone at Wyndham Vacation Resorts, the email format is shown right here. Basically, it's either first name dot last name at either number 1 win.com or number 2 wyndhamvo.com. People that I sent my email carpet bomb to were Franz Hanning, the CEO, Brenda George, Director of Consumer Affairs, Andreas Mosquera, the Manager of Owner Care. I put both emails beside him, both of the suffixes, because I never got a response back from him via phone or email. So I called one day and I asked who his boss is. Somebody gave me the name of this guy, John Monowek. He's the VP of Customer Service and Corporate Compliance, depending on which website you look at. Ultimately, I got a call from Miss Twinetta Weaver, Executive Resolution Liaison. Twinetta listened to my call and assured me that she would investigate. Well, after 3 weeks or so, I got a response back that said Wyndham declined. So I have made complaints. I've complained to the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB.gov, An attorney that has faced them said they are like the FTC on steroids. Better Business Bureau in Orlando, Florida. This is the best location to file a complaint on Wyndham because Orlando is where their vacation offices are. My purchase was made in the state of South Carolina, and the BBB there does not track Wyndham complaints. Check the real estate commission in the state in which you purchased. And at the same time, see if you can find the Timeshare Act in that state and read it thoroughly. You may find an Easter egg of something that your salesperson violated. You can look at a lot of other websites, YouTube, you can look Wyndham, Timeshare Scams, Timeshare Cancel, complaintsboard.com has several complaints on Wyndham, or your developer. There's a lot of timeshare entries there. Histconsumer.com, the squeaky wheel, and then some of the typical travel websites like TripAdvisor and Yelp. They have places where you can make comments on your particular resort. And of course you can post your comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, the other social websites. May 28th of 2012, we were at Edisto Resort down in South Carolina. We accepted the invitation to attend an owner update. The way they do it there is there's a podium type presentation where one person speaks to a group of people, and then when that presentation's over, then you have one-on-one time with your salesperson. Our salesperson on that particular day, and Miss Schuler, was relatively new to the group there, and so she was essentially in training. So Gabriel Jolly worked with us and went through the rest of the sales presentation and the first part of the closing. During the podium part of the presentation, Ms. Terry Judy used handwritten charts to illustrate her talking points, and during that time she said that many owners pay no or greatly reduced maintenance fees because they own enough points to convert some of their points to offset most or all of their maintenance fees. And then what the points don't offset, then they use a Wyndham Rewards credit card to make up the difference. Well, this all sounded real good during the presentation. We asked questions, follow-up during the one-on-one session and during closing to confirm our understanding that we could buy these points today and they would be enough to offset our maintenance fees. Well, the truth of the matter is it's not possible. We got home and did some math and figured out that the exchange rate from points to maintenance fee dollars is so low that it's just not possible. If we used all of our points toward maintenance fees, it would only cover about half of them each year. So that's the reality, is that you never catch up because the dollar value of 1,000 points of ownership and the dollar value of maintenance fees and then the exchange rate between points and maintenance fees is such that you never catch up. To illustrate the maintenance fees and points and exchange rate, and I've prepared a little graphic here. Basically, your points sell for 140 per thousand. Your contract may vary, but that's about what it goes for. Maintenance fees are assessed at, well, I'm using $450 per thousand. We have seen as high as $6.25 per thousand, and so there's a wide variation possible there. The conversion from points to maintenance is $2.10 per thousand. So as you can see, with the great disparity between what you're charged for maintenance fees and the exchange rate to maintenance dollars, there's no chance you'll ever catch up. And if you have 300,000 points and your maintenance fees are at $450 per thousand, that works out to what did I say here? $1,350 a year. You could rent a pretty decent condo just for what you pay in maintenance fees every year when you get to the VIP level. So, as you can see, more money you spend, more money you waste. There was a sense of urgency created by Miss Judy, saying that the threshold for achieving the next level of VIP was going up later this year, and that you needed to buy in now, and if you're going to take this step, you need to go ahead and do it now, or it's going to cost you a lot more later to do it. So that was another chink in the armor, I guess you could say. She also said that the Edisto location was one of the few authorized resellers of Wyndham points, which was said in such a way that made us think that if we wanted to sell, then we could take them back to the Edisto location and transfer our points. Well, truth of the matter is, they ain't buying your points, and so that was a misstatement. During our sales encounter too, Mr. Jolly told us that he had a contract that had some equity from a previous owner. Well, there's really no way to verify that in all the documentation and so forth that they give you. We had two contracts, and they combined those into a single contract with some extra points so that we would have one contract instead of the two that we owned at the time. We were not happy about how we came to own two contracts, because when we bought the second one, we were told, that guy told us that we were getting a consolidated contract at one location, and that's not what happened. I'll talk more about that one later. But basically what happened to us, though, the misrepresentations induced us to purchase 185,000 points valued at $29,000 plus fees. So basically we were on the hook for nearly 30 grand. While we were going through closing, Mr. Jolly, that I mentioned earlier, stepped out after he had finished with the serving as a notary, and Mr. John Ryan took over with the documentation and sticking papers in front of us to get signatures as rapidly as possible. I asked Mr. Ryan again about the maintenance fees, the conversion from points to maintenance fees, and was I understanding this correctly? And he looked at me and batted his eyes a little bit and said, "Oh, yeah, you can do that." At no time during the closing did he mention or explain the rescission period as required by law. Yes, on the contracts, the rescission period is spelled out, but it was never explained to us how long it is, which in this case was 5 days, or what steps we needed to go through to exercise our rescission rights. So with him being the quality control manager and training a new hire in Ms. Schuler, we felt like he did not live up to his responsibilities as the quality control manager and as the senior member of staff in the room at that time. On a previous encounter with Wyndham Sales, in October of 2006, we were paired with Mr. Roman Schinken. This is the time when we were convinced to buy our second contract, and it was for enough points to get us to the VIP level. The Bonnet Creek Resort was the one that was being sold at that time. We were in Williamsburg, Virginia, at the resort up there at Patriots Point. And Mr. Schenken told us that we were buying a single contract at Bonnet Creek, which we believe meant that we were exchanging the contract that we already owned at Smoky Mountains for the contract at Bonnet Creek with the extra points, so that Bonnet Creek would be our one and only contract. That's not what happened. We wound up with two contracts, two sets of maintenance fees, two sets of property taxes to deal with, and so we were not happy about that, but we were able to use it. Unfortunately, the number of points that we bought at Bonnet Creek was not sufficient to make a reservation for a full week during prime time, or for most any other time for that matter. We used that membership more for 3 and 4 day trips than anything else. But because we only owned $127,000 at that resort, then we were unable to make reservations within the 13-month owner window. And Mr. Schenken made a big pitch about how the Waldorf was building next door. It was going to be a premier resort, which it is very nice, no complaints there, but that it would be nearly impossible to get into that resort without the 13-month reservation window that owners can have. But we were unable to take advantage of that because of what we were sold. So that's our story for the most part. I hope it's been informative, and I hope that everyone who sees this thinks twice and 3 times and 4 times before agreeing to purchase anything from Wyndham or any other timeshare company.